everybody, this is Derek with the Grumpy Guy Show for episode number 42, You Want Organic, recorded on March 14th, 2022. Tonight, we talk a little bit about the sudden shock and awe surrounding the refugee issues with Ukraine, some advertisements, and some really annoying news starting to move me over towards conspiracy theories. Stick around. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So tonight, it looks like we might actually have a short episode. Not positive, depends on how much Ryan has to add to these topics, but I think they're all kind of short, unfortunately. Just been avoiding watching television as of late, and of course that's where I get most of my stuff if you haven't figured that out. But we shall see what happens. So let's go with transition number 1. So last week on news, I hate these stupid little pop-ups. I don't care if my microphone's noisy. Nothing like killing off the video. But you know what? I've already done transition number 1, so I'm not going to restart the video.
Anyhow,
so when you see that little pop-up, folks, what it is, the fan on my laptop goes nuts because I'm not only am I recording video, but I got the video going on there and everything, so it's working hard. I get it. But the microphone just picks it all up and...
Yep.
Bothersome. Very bothersome. So anyway.
Very bothersome. Anywho.
Back to the news. So, last week, we were watching the news, and something just stood out to me in the report. Now, this was run on the local news, but it was reported.
The local news.
Yeah, yes. But it was just a segment that they pulled from the National. So basically, what this lady said was, more than half the Ukraine refugees are children. Okay. So here's the problem with it. It really goes back to these Captain Obvious commercials that you see all the time, right? So the way things are going with Ukraine, the way they are doing things is all able-bodied men are staying to fight. Which means women and children are being evacuated. So most families have 2 children at least. So why was this lady so shocked that more than half of the refugees are children?
I don't know.
Exactly. She says it with shock and awe, like, oh my God, oh. What do you expect when you're expecting all able-bodied men to stay and fight? And then of those women that are in the medical field, they're going to stay to help people. So now you've got older, you've got parents, like older parents as in grandparents of these children, taking children to get them out of the war zone. And you've also got, these women or these men that aren't able-bodied. Majority of these refugees are going to be children. Plain and simple, you can't ask a child to fight a war. But you can ask women. You can ask men. I mean, seriously, I'm just blown away with how they try and make these things up to be so outrageous and so shocking and so surprising. Yeah. I mean, seriously, people, come on. It's war, It's going to happen. And it wouldn't be happening so badly if if Russia was not attacking civilian sites. And that's the problem. They're going in, they're looking to take over Ukraine no matter what. They want that territory and they're taking it no matter what. And that's become very obvious because now, by going into this whole concept of bombing apartment buildings and hospitals, it's a war of terror. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to terrorize these people so that they go to their representatives and say, listen, we want an end to this. Stop at all costs. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen. They are proud people, and they should be. And they are going to fight until they cannot fight anymore, which is the way that it should be. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand their shock with it. And then, tonight they were shocked that news reporters were killed. Well, gee, he's sending his troops. Yeah, he's sending his troops in to take out apartment complexes, hospitals. He's not. His troops are not being discriminated in any way, shape, or form. So why is it a shock that a newspaper reporter got killed? It's not a shock to me.
Not at all.
You want to be shocked about it. Okay, you'd be shocked about it, but then that tells me that you're living in some kind of goofy world. Because it's I don't know. I just don't see that changing. I really truly see it just getting worse, to be honest with you. And then and the other thing they were talking about tonight was, oh, he bombed a military base. It's only 10 miles from the border with Poland. Okay.
It's a military base. It's war. Yeah. What do you expect?
It's a military base. It's inside the Ukrainian border. Guess what? By laws of war, it's fair game.
It's not Poland's problem.
Yeah. They're all worried and everything that, oh, this means he's going to be coming after Poland. He's going to think twice about that because Poland is a NATO country. The only way that
if he goes after Poland, then the rest of NATO's going after him.
Yeah. The only way that
he's screwed.
The only way I think he's going to consider it is if China does actually side with him.
Which I don't think they will.
I don't know. Apparently they've negotiated. They were actually having talks. They told U.S. officials that they are not supporting him. They are not sending him money or weapons. But there's rumors from somebody, someplace, I don't know who, but there have been rumors that China is considering sending weapons and money. If he gets that, then all bets are off. Because by doing that, he's going to drag China in. And they will end up being on his side, which that would be a very bad move for China. I think, but what do I know? I'm not a politician. But unfortunately, I see this getting to be much bigger than just Ukraine. And I believe it was last week that I said that I see it getting bigger than Ukraine. I see this as being any former Soviet Union country.
Absolutely.
Even if they are his ally. They're up for grabs as far as he's concerned.
I can see an invasion of Belarus.
Yeah.
They are allies with him. But yeah. I can see it. I can see it happening next.
Yep. I see it coming.
I think Belarus is next.
I really truly see it coming. I think he just wants to reunite the former Soviet Union, and
Mm-hmm.
he's going to do it at all costs.
Mm-hmm. He is.
It's unfortunate, but I don't know. And then I'm sure you didn't see it, but apparently, so of course it's a communist country, so it's state-run media.
Mm-hmm.
A news editor for a major station right in Moscow during a live,
Russia isn't communist.
well, sort of.
Hmm.
They're not an actual democracy or anything like
No,
that.
they're not. But they're not communist.
Yeah, he's elected,
Mm-hmm.
but
It's a dictatorship, definitely.
yeah,
It's not communist.
to a point. It's still state-run media.
Seems more fascistic to me.
I don't know. Uh, I'm certainly not as knowledgeable of it as you probably are, but
Mm-hmm.
at any rate, it's state-run media, state-controlled, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So during a live broadcast of the news in Moscow on one of the
Mm-hmm.
bigger channels, an editor for the news broadcast ran out and stood behind the news anchor with a big sign saying, "Stop the war. They're lying to you about things." And now she's detained. Yeah.
Which means she's probably dead.
If she's not dead, she's never going to be heard from again.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really sad. I mean,
The best possible scenario is she got kicked out of Russia,
yeah, but I
which
don't see that
I
happening.
doubt.
No, no, but it's so many people they complain about things here in the United States, and they don't realize just how good we've got it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't arrest you just for showing a sign,
Mm-hmm.
unless showing the sign is bashing somebody over the head with it. They can't arrest you. Yeah, I mean, in that case, if an editor did that in the United States, the company would have to file charges against that editor to get
Mm-hmm.
them arrested. It's not like, the government could go in and say, "Hi, you're under arrest, you did this. That's it." No. It's
Mm-hmm.
private property, it's a private company. That company has to file charges. That's all
Mm-hmm.
there is to it. And peaceful like it was makes it even harder for anything to come of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get those freedoms everywhere in the world. But we shall see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Transition time?
I think so.
Mm.
All right. So, on a podcast that I got to watch, it's a couple of months old now because I am behind on watching my podcast. Normally I have them
Mm.
like when I'm running or when I'm doing work. I normally have them running, kind of as filler.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really paying attention, but I'm catching them. And with the project
Yep.
that I've been on, I haven't been able to do that. Well,
Uh,
the project is kind of put on a back burner right now. But anyhow, so I've actually been able to watch a few of them here and there. And they were this one in particular. It's on the Twit network. It's the main show. It's Twit, which in case you think that's like some kind of joke, it kind of is, but it isn't. It's
mm.
actually an acronym for This Week in Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the big show, it's on Sundays. It's a long show, and pretty much anything tech related is on the table. And one of the things they were talking about were ads. And the idea that, everybody claims they're trying to make changes to ads. yet they never do. so,
Hmm.
so they were talking about how Google wanted to, Google's idea is they're going to change it all so that it's aggregated, basically so that they can't even tell who you are. You're just aggregated into a demographic before it even reaches Google's servers. So, excuse me. So, for example, when you use Chrome right now,
Mm-hmm.
Chrome knows who you are. They know your age. They know your gender. They know, they know all of the information about you. So what happens is that gets sent back to Google, and then they aggregate it at that point, so that when they give information to advertisers, the advertiser doesn't know you specifically.
Mm-hmm.
What Google was trying to do, or claimed they were trying to do, was make it so that the aggregation happened at your computer or your phone or tablet, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
rather than on their servers. The problem was it didn't work because you still had a unique identifier. so,
Hmm.
so as soon as you logged into Chrome or on any device, your identifier got pulled over, and of course they knew who you were, which means they can get all of your demographic information.
Mm-hmm.
And advertisers started whining and saying, "Oh, well, this is a way for Google just to get more money," and because I don't know, it's all about money. But at any rate,
It
so
is.
so the Twit network is in general advertised based. That's where they get their revenues, with advertisements.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where most places get their revenues, through advertisements. The way they do it is much different, because if they don't believe in the product, and when I say they, I mean the owner of the company. If he doesn't believe in the product, he's not going to advertise it. So, okay, much different, but he also doesn't have advertisements running during the show beyond an old school ad read, meaning whoever the host of the show is pauses and reads in the middle of the show the ad. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a commercial that you see on television or anything like that. So at any rate, I'm kind of losing what the heck it was I'm getting out of this. But they were talking about the pros and cons of the advertising model. One of the main pros they said is I'm getting stuff that's targeted at me, versus just, hey, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could be talking about, I mean, look at it like this. I don't do anything. I don't buy anything because it's organic, because there's problems with organic foods. So anybody who advertises organic foods to me is really wasting their money. You want to
Mm-hmm.
advertise foods, okay. So basically the difference is targeted advertising, which is what we have now. They aren't going to advertise organic food to me. They're going to advertise
Mm-hmm.
food. So, if there's this brand of vegetables or something like that, that's what would be advertised to me. Versus the general thing where it would just say, "Oh, you want organic. Duh. That's it. You want organic." So they were the episode of the podcast was talking about how that is actually better. But the problem is when you the problem is, it means that the advertisers have information about you. They
Mm-hmm.
can they can really focus. And that's good, but it's also very bad, because the advertisers are using that information, and they'll track what you were searching for. And a great example is Amazon.
Hmm.
You know, I went to Amazon. I bought something. I bought a new gas cap for the dirt bike. Now every time I go to Amazon, it's recommending gas caps for the dirt bike.
Hmm.
I've got one dirt bike. It's got one gas tank. I only need one gas cap. I bought that gas cap. I'm done. If they want to show me other parts for a dirt bike, okay, I get it. But I
Mm-hmm.
bought a gas cap. I don't need another gas cap. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem there is. Because it's targeted advertising, you know, they know that I was looking for a gas cap. But they stop at they know I was looking for a gas cap. They don't go to the next point, the next step of, okay, he bought a gas cap. Let's try and sell him a bike.
Hmm.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And unfortunately, it's kind of the way that things are going. It's
Mm-hmm.
they just want to do it like that. And I just thought of the perfect example of the difference between general advertising and targeted. What you see
Ooh.
on television is generalized advertising,
Mm-hmm.
meaning you don't drink beer, but you're subjected to
Ugh.
beer commercials because everybody's seeing the same commercial. Where
Hmm.
when you're surfing the internet, you're not going to see a beer commercial because you've never searched for beer, you've never shown interest in
Mm-hmm.
beer.
Yep.
That's the difference between targeted advertising and I don't even know
General
exactly.
advertising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's the actual term they use, but I'm
Hmm.
sticking with it.
Hmm.
But at any rate, so they were talking about people that block those and stop all ads and everything. And I run an ad blocker. It doesn't make a huge difference. It does when you get to some sites like the local station.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I some of these websites are so overfilled with advertisements. It's not even funny. I wouldn't run an ad blocker if when you went to a website there was 2 or 3 ads. But when
Mm-hmm.
you go to a website and it takes 10 minutes to load when you've got a 400 megabit per second download speed, it takes 10 minutes for that website to fully load, there's a problem. And then there's a few tech sites where they have automatic videos pop up. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to see your stupid video. You want to show an ad? Okay, I get that. That's fine. But don't go showing me a stupid video ad.
Yeah, I deal with that all the time.
I find that ridiculous.
It's stupid.
I mean, I get it if you're someplace like YouTube because,
You host videos.
yeah, it's a video site. But when I'm going to read an article, I'm not looking to have a video pop up while I'm going through trying to read this article.
Mm-hmm.
At least they've finally gotten to the point where they don't play the stupid audio. You're sitting there reading, and then all of a sudden you get the audio popping in there. It's like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well. All right. So, you got anything to add there?
Not really.
All right. So that topic was brought to you by Ryan's Yawn.
Hmm.
Oh my. All right, folks. So, one more topic.
One more transition.
Yeah. See? We're good.
We're great.
We got to be the best
Anyway,
at this
what's this
ever.
last one?
So this last one, I just saw it over the weekend. I actually read an article about it, and it kind of annoyed me. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist when it comes to COVID and the vaccines or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm starting to get to the point where yeah, maybe it's happening. So last year, the only companies that really, really made a lot of money were Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson and Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Who were the three companies that made the vaccines?
Mm.
Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson and Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pfizer CEO over the weekend said a fourth shot is going to be needed.
Oh God.
Now, I'm sitting there thinking, all right, so we just got done with booster shots. There is no way in the world you have enough data to justify a fourth shot.
Mm-hmm.
To me, what that sounds like, we want more money.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the whole problem is, all of this money, no, it's not coming out of our pockets. What's happening, at least not right now, what's happening is the government is telling all of these insurance carriers, you don't have a choice but to pay for this in full.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen? Well, sooner or later, these insurance companies are going to raise their rates. Why are they going to raise their rates? Because they're not going to take a loss in their profits because of this pandemic. I mean, they're already dealing with enough having to pay for what they have. Now to add in an additional shot? No.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, they're going to say enough is enough. And they're either going to jack their rates right up through the roof, or they're going to say, sorry, we're not covering it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And once they start saying, sorry, we're not going to cover it anymore, then the government's going to start stepping in, trying to tell a private business what they can and can't do. Either that, or they're going to say, well, we'll start paying for it. Okay, so if the federal government is paying for it, who's really paying for it?
We are.
Exactly.
Taxes.
Yeah. So either our taxes are going to go up to pay for this, or our insurance rates are going to go up to pay for it. It's just the way it is. It's just a matter of time. And what's going to happen? Well, the CEOs and the shareholders of these companies are going to get rich. And they're going to continue to get rich. And it's just going to keep going. Sooner or later, it's got to come to an end. We can't continue. We can't continue with this living in fear that there is. We have to actually start educating people. Hand washing, folks, goes a long way. Wash your hands. Use sanitizer when you can't wash your hands. Use sanitizers after you washed your hands. I mean, that's the real key. That, and eat healthy. The healthier you eat, the better balanced diet you eat, the better you're going to be when it comes to fighting these things. Do things, do things to change your life so that it's going to be better for that. But we can't keep going where we're paying these companies millions and millions of dollars. And actually, I believe last year all three companies were in the billions in profits.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and it's all because of these vaccines. But we can't keep going along like that. And all of these variants that are coming out, well, we can't. What are we going to do? Pay them for every single variant? Pay them and require everybody to get a vaccination? No. We have to move on. But oh well. At any rate, folks, looks like we're going to be pretty close to a full show here. Surprise,
That's
surprise! I
surprising.
can talk. But I'm sure you've heard the music going in the background. So,
Good night.
we'll see ya.